So yes, I'm getting straight to the point. Just like that, I had my first event where I vended for Dear God Love Me. And I have had some time to process how that went. And I wanted to share some of my takeaways with y'all. I was invited this year to vend, right, as a published author. And so my friend, her name is Carlisha Hewitt. Follow her too. She is the one who invited me to come vend with her at her table. She was doing all of the things. She provides a lot of different services, financial literacy, life insurance. She has merch. She's a spoken word poet. So yeah, upon arriving at the event venue, the good thing is that I had been there before. So the anxiety that normally would be associated with getting to a place, not knowing what the place is going to be, not knowing how much space you're going to be required to take up, not knowing a lay of the land, where the restroom is, where the exits are, and that might sound silly, but in order for my body to be at rest and my mind to be in somewhat calm state, I have to know what's going on around me. So being that I had already been there last year and I knew what to expect in that regard, I wasn't really all that anxious as it pertained to the venue we were going to be at, right? Cool. It's a beautiful place called Casa del Rey in Roselle, New Jersey. And so we get there. We had time enough to sit and chat for a little bit, kiki, which I also love. So yeah, we go, we set up, and I was very intentional about the way I wanted the table to look. And it came out really nice. I'll show you a little video or picture or whatever of it. It came out really nice. We set up, we're inside. I have my little water, juice. So I'm, trying to calm my nerves and get myself riled up. Well, not riled up, get myself settled and figure out what's gonna happen when we start the vending part. So let me fast forward. There's 3 different phases of vending that I learned that day. The first phase is when key staff and admin and organizers are the only ones there before the event is actually starting and before the doors open up for everyone else to come and visit your table, right? So to me, that's probably the more intimidating part, because a normal is it patron? Child, no, I'm tired. A normal customer or a normal person that would visit your table when you're vending is just someone who's perusing and looking to buy. If you're an organizer, if you're staff, if you're an admin, if you are the one who is in charge of choosing the vendors that come to the event, your mindset is already different and you have a certain capacity and appetite for a spiel and for what somebody has going on. That's just how I think about it. And child, this thing from somebody who ain't never vended before this point. So what do I know? I'm just going by what I would believe to be true. So during that time, it was like, oh my gosh, please don't nobody come over here asking me what I'm vending and why. So it was kind of calm in that regard. They were still, running around trying to make sure the final touches were there before they opened the doors to the ticket holders to come and take their seats and get settled in. Fine. But honey, that second phase, the phase where people know that there are vendors there and they want to go check them out before everybody put their hands all over everything, those people are serious too. But they're ticket holders and, whatever. So this one lady comes over to... this one lady comes over to my table and she was like, oh, so... Because first she talked to my friend. Now, Carlisha is together, okay? She know what she gonna say, how she gonna say it, how much of it she gonna say. And you gonna be standing over there feeling like, you know what? Everything that you just told me, I need it for real in real life. And the gag is you really do. So I want you to go and follow her and check her out as well. But that's neither here nor there. She slid herself over to my table and was like, oh, and what is this book about? I was like, and I'm thinking to myself while I'm finding words and stammering and stuttering all over everything and falling all over myself, like, girl, did you write the book or not? Were you there? She was there. I'm she. And this book was written in 2022. Well, it was released in 2022. Volume 1 of Dear God Love Me, I don't even remember when it started because I had sat with it and sat on it and pushed it to the back burner. It's another story for another day. But I had done that for about 3 or 4 years before I actually hired an accountability coach and was put on a schedule and stuck with that schedule and finished and published that first book in 2020. Volume 2 was shortly after that and was released in 2022. So now here we are in 2026. Ma'am, all this lady did was ask you what the book is about. and you hemming and hawing. I was so shocked at myself, but at the same time, I was like tickled, but then I was also like, oh my gosh, just where is the nearest manhole that I can jump into like a Ninja Turtle and disappear into the depths of the embarrassment that I feel. So, child, that lady walked away, and I was like, that was crazy. That was very crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, she actually spun the block and came back and bought a book. So whatever I found in my brain that decided to shut off on me in real time, whatever I found to tell her was enough for her to be interested and come back and purchase a book. So from there, it got easier with each person that came up. I was able to talk about and describe and share about the book with a little more ease. With each person, it was a little easier. What I love about learning how to put my short little pitch, speech, whatever you want to call it, together in real time, like the on-the-job training, if you will, is that it was necessary for me to continue to declare, I am the author and this is my book. I wrote this book. Because if you know me, you know that something as simple as that, I struggle with it. Call it imposter syndrome, call it fear, call it whatever you want to call it, but it's something that I struggle with. So I believe that God is so kind to us that the most simple situations and the most simple circumstances that he puts us in and opportunities that he gives us, it's so that we can learn how to get used to hearing ourselves say what and who we are because of him and his faithfulness. And there were opportunities that I had to connect with people as they came up with certain things. A lady had on a leopard, whatever it is, print dress, which is my favorite print. We connected about that. There was another girl that was walking by. And honestly, this one girl that was walking by, I wasn't even looking for her to come to my table, but her jumper was so cute. And she's walking by my table, but far enough away. So I'm like, excuse me. And she stopped and I was like, can I have your jumper? And so that started a conversation. Just because I wanted to give her a compliment because her jumper was mad cute. And she ended up buying a book and ended up really being interested in what the book is about. What else? There was one lady that really, really touched my heart and it really showed me about how detailed God is. And it gave me a little insight onto why he made me so detailed, because I love details. Details are what help me navigate through life much better than I would if I wasn't paying attention to them. So the quote that was in the frame, the direct quote from the book that's in the frame is, it's not all your fault. Some of it may be, but not all of it. And that's from the letter Disproportionate in volume 2 of Dear God Love Me. Go grab a copy if you haven't. But this one lady came up and I'm talking to her and I directed her attention to the quote. And she looked at me and was like, I need this book for my daughter. I was telling her that that's the tone of the book. It's conversational, it's laid back, but it is steeped in scripture and faith in God. And she said, I need this book for my daughter because she's always saying how everything is her fault. And I be trying to tell her that it's not. And I was like, oh, just from one single out of 170 pages of a book, that's the one quote that I put in a frame for my display, and it resonated with her specifically to get the book for her daughter, because that is something her daughter is always telling herself. Her daughter is believing the lie that everything is her fault. And I was like, wow, man, that's super duper dope too. God is just he's so dope. What else was a takeaway? This is the last one. People actually wanted me to sign these books for them. For what? And I'm just joking. I understand why now. I'm looking at it as, I'm just regular old Ro. What you need me to sign this book for? They're not looking at it as, oh, that's just Ro from Central Islip. They don't know me. They're looking at it as, this is Ro McKenzie, who wrote this book that sounds like it is an amazing resource, and she's standing right here in front of me. I want her to sign it. So yeah, it's not that they think I'm somebody, but it's just the overall concept. And I think sometimes the enemy would have us to really, really, really devalue ourselves and get into our own head and make things more weighty than what they are. You really have to lock into the fact that you did this thing. God gave you this thing, and people are going to be drawn to it. You cannot hide it under a bush. You cannot hide it behind something or somebody else. This thing is going to be seen. It's going to be noticed. It's going to be recognized. It's going to be appreciated. And you have to be okay with being seen, with being recognized, with being desired, with being appreciated. But we have to be okay with those things when they happen. So yeah, I was very, very taken aback that people wanted me to sign them, but I did. And even that I had to learn how to do in real time. Like, girl, we're not writing another book inside the cover of the book. And so, yeah, that was that. Overall, it was a beautiful event. So girls on a mission with ambition, we go together, okay? Real bad. So that's my whole spiel. I love y'all. I got to go inside work before I'm sitting in here yapping and find myself late. Not these geese for all day babies. All right, love y'all. Bye.